guys, now that you've listened to that chorus of All the Things You Are, we're going to break it down a little bit. First off, let me just say that these voicings that are included here are not necessarily the voicings that I would use when I'm soloing, but they're kind of more used for showing you the foundation of the harmony. We're going to be focusing on the right hand mainly in these lines. So this first one is sidestep action. So if you look at measure 2, you've got this B flat minor 9 and my line. Particularly these notes, you have this D natural and a C, and then we're landing on a D flat. And what I like to do is do this sidestep action into a chord tone. A chord tone meaning like the 1, the 3, the 5, or the 7. So there we're landing on the 3rd there of the B flat minor 9. And so I'm doing that throughout measure 5, same thing. And then measure 7, same thing. Landing on a G there at the chord tone. So this is something that you can do, practice doing this on every chord of a tune, and it will really help. Okay, next one, rhythmic diversity. And that's just something that I like to call. And what that means is basically I really like to incorporate different rhythms into my playing. So if you notice here, these two measures, 3 and 4, you know, there's 16th notes, there's triplets, there's space in the music. So I find myself sometimes, I don't know if you guys are the same way, but sometimes I get in this kind of rut of just playing 8th notes. And so I have to be constantly aware and reminded that it's good to kind of play rhythmically different ideas, you know. And the master of this, I would say, is Bill Evans. So if you ever get into a rut, just stop playing, take a few minutes to listen to Bill Evans, and that might kind of trigger something in you to get those rhythmic ideas out. Okay, this next one, treating dominant chords as sus chords. Now let me explain this one a little bit. So if you look at measure 10, you've got an F7 written, right? And a lot of times if you're playing like in a trio setting, or you're solo piano and you have a little bit more liberty with the harmony, and you're the only harmonic player, what I like to do is take a dominant chord like that and suspend the 4 instead of just playing like an F7 or F6-9 or whatever. I like to suspend the 4, and what that allows me to do is build lines off of this 4th and highlighting this 4th. So here measure 10, and then again here measure 11. Again, this might not be the way I voice it, but this is just to show you an idea of what I'm thinking here. So by doing that, and I would say the master of this would have to be Herbie Hancock, and he would take these chords and make them sus chords, and he would just be able to build lines off of those things. So a good exercise would be to take any dominant chord in a tune and make it a sus chord and try to build lines off of that. And I find myself doing that a lot in my solos. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification button, and you'll be notified of any new content I put out. I want to keep making videos like this, so thank you for doing that. Okay, so yeah, taking these dominant chords and treating them as sus chords, and again, that's up to you, your liberty there. Okay, The next one, highlighting the sharp 5 or the flat 5. Again, same kind of thing. If you're playing in a trio setting or it's just you, and you have a little bit more liberty with the harmony because you're the harmony in the group. A lot of times what I like to do is take a major 7 chord, for example here, measure 12, and instead of just playing flat out major 7, like this example here, measure 12, E flat major 7, I like to highlight this sharp 5 in my line, and I might actually voice it that way too. In this example here, you could say that you could play a G chord, or ideas over a G chord, because you've got that harmony there inside of the E flat major 7. And I'm doing the same thing here, measure 14, 15. Same kind of thing. So just highlighting the flat 5, the sharp 5, or the flat 5, I think can really add some really nice elements to your solo. Okay, next one. This one is more about awareness, about the diminished chord and how it's found in a lot of places. So this one's about awareness, and I wanted to kind of point out one thing here. In this example here, measure 18, I have a D7, and there's a scale that you can use in a lot of jazz, and it's called the octatonic scale. And this scale is basically a fully diminished chord stacked on top of a fully diminished chord. And by doing that, you create this scale. And this scale is great because it hits these extensions. So that's the scale. If you don't know it, I would review it at a later time. But you're hitting this sharp 11, 13. There's a flat 9. Anyway, that's a good one to learn and incorporate it in your playing. Okay, so let's go to the next one. From triplet to double time, and vice versa. Now, this one, I hear a lot of guys playing solos, and they start playing this triplet figure, and then they go into a double time thing. But oftentimes, I don't hear the opposite. I don't hear the double time playing into a triplet figure. And I think the master at this, I would have to say, is Oscar Peterson. There's so many recordings where I hear him go double time and he goes into a triplet thing that is so in the pocket, so in the groove, that it really resonates with me. It's something that I think you have to practice with the metronome, because your time needs to be just super solid. Oscar Peterson, obviously his technique was just incredible. So I would practice this both ways, the double time feel into a triplet, and then a triplet thing into a double time thing. Let's see here. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the video, feel free to subscribe. I will be putting out more content like this. Okay, let's move on to the next one, soloing in intervals and shapes. Now, this is something that I use a lot, and it's kind of an approach that I don't see that much these days. But what I like to do is, when I'm soloing, is I like to think in shapes. A lot of guys like to think in scales, and that's great too. But I like to think in shapes sometimes. So I'll take, for example, I'll take a shape, like measure 29 here, D flat major 7. I'll take this shape maybe, and you can just decide what shape you want to use and try it out. So I'll use this shape and I'll build these lines. So if you look at the first 4 notes, it's these 4 notes. And then the next shape would be something like this. So I've got these 2 shapes, and now I'm building these lines off of it. And same thing for the next measure, measure 30, D flat minor 7. And notice this voicing, I actually added another note. I added an 11, an 11, and same kind of thing. So I've kind of pre-decided, I've decided the shape already, and I just kind of build these lines. You know, like if I wanted to use something like that, maybe I'll do something like that. Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed with notifications on. I'll have more videos like this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you use this content. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.